Welcome to episode 304 of the Ben Briggs podcast. I am Ben Briggs. It's fucking Sunday, people. It is Sunday. Sunday the 21st of August, 2023. He says, his voice finally breaking there. 2023. And welcome. Fucking hell, that's thrown me completely. Here we go. It's going to be one of these episodes, is it, people? Who knows? Anyway, welcome to the Ben Briggs podcast. It's fucking Sunday. I am sitting here at Briggs Towers, bedecked in patriotism because of the football today. The ladies' football. Women's football, yeah, they're doing it now. Hey, when will this ever stop? They're having a kick about, aren't they? What will the future hold for this? But yeah, I watched the. I look, skinhead, white guy, England top. I am a fucking immigrant's nightmare this morning. Well, I say that this afternoon, isn't it? Because I've just watched the game. Here we go. Let's not lie to you. Yeah, but pretty disappointing from an England perspective. Proud of those girls out there, aren't we? Well, you've got to say that these days, haven't you? Proud of them. They are an example, to be a shining example out there. But, they showed the men. They showed the men how to fucking lose in a World Cup final. That's what they did, didn't they? I just watched the Women's World Cup. I've been looking forward to it all weekend, actually, since obviously here we go. You had nothing to do with it, man. He's got a dick. Let's get him. So I've been supporting the Women's World Cup, the England team today. I'm wearing my England shirt. I didn't buy a female England shirt. The Lionesses shirt, I didn't buy that. But I have... do they do those in guys? I don't know. I don't know whether they do those in guys. Because they usually, like with a football shirt, you usually have like a female version of the male kit. And I don't know whether the Lionesses have a different kit or do they have the same kit. But I have no idea. Who knows? Who knows? It's fucking all over. It'll be forgotten about next week, won't it? Now they haven't won anything, the fucking losers. It's nice to see that they are a proper England team. What do you mean by proper, Ben? I don't know. This is fucking minefield, isn't it? That they can get to a final and fucking lose. It was a little bit of from an England perspective, it was a disappointing game. Because we didn't score. If it had gone 2-1 to Spain or something like that, you want that excitement, don't you? When you're watching any game like that and you're inevitably resigned to England going out or losing, obviously not in the Euros, in the Europeans, which they won the last time. But like even when you're watching the men's game or whatever, you're resigned to the fact that they're going to lose. This is what it's like to be an England supporter supporting England at football. I'll give you a behind-the-scenes view. You know they're going to fucking lose. You just want it not to be embarrassing and to have a little bit of excitement. We we didn't even have the usual thing with the men. Why would it correlate, Ben? I don't know. We didn't even have the usual thing with the guys that we will lose. We'll be plucky fighters and we'll get cheated out of it somehow, either a bad decision or or an unlucky goal. We usually get cheated out of it that way. But like, to be honest, watching this game today, Spain were fucking phenomenal, knocking it around really well, and just dominated the game really. I don't know what the stats on the look at me getting all technical. I don't know what the stats on possession were, but it seemed like Spain had the ball and were knocking it around in triplets. for most of the game. But yeah, I was really excited about it this morning. I was going to get up early. There was my plan of action for today, people. I've been in Hull this weekend, so I've been to Hull and back twice. So I drove up to Hull on Friday, where I was at the Comedy Lounge. I've done it before. I've done it a lot of times before. The Comedy Lounge. I love that fucking club. I love the guy who runs it, down to Steve who works on the door, down to the setup of the club. It's set up like an American club, basically. So they have table service in there. And so you kind of got to deal with that and get used to that a little bit. But they have table service and they have breaks as well. So it's slightly different from the American clubs who just seem to have table service out there. And the show just goes on all night. So, yeah, I get up there on Friday through the Friday traffic, which is always a fucking nightmare. Hull from me is about 150 miles away, so it should take about 2.5, 3 hours. It took about 3.5 hours to get up there because I got held up a little bit on the old Friday fucking traffic. And then getting into Hull, I don't know what they're doing. I've been doing this club for a few years, and it seems like they have never, ever stopped doing roadworks on the way in. It's down to 30 miles an hour on a dual carriageway. So you're driving, and for some reason, 30 miles an hour in a built-up area seems quite fast. You know what I mean? But you're doing that on a dual carriageway, and it just seems to take fucking forever. I have no idea how the time-space continuum has somehow made that take so long. But, I don't know, we went a bit back to the future there. But anyway, they've been doing these fucking roadworks forever. And every time, the first night, on the way home, every fucking time, there's a bit, and that it goes into the roadworks, and as soon as you're on there, you're fucked. And you're meant to turn off right beforehand and then negotiate round the streets and get onto the way home. But every time, the first fucking night, I do it. I go past that turning, and then as soon as you go past that turning, you're stuck on this place that takes you over a fucking, I think it's another dual carriageway over a bridge, but there's no way of turning round for about 3 or 4 miles. And you're doing 30 mile an hour, and you're just fucking berating yourself, going, fuck, I did it again. Fucking, I missed the turning every time. I'm fucking up here. I missed the fucking turning. I forget about it because it's been about 6 months since I last played the club. I fucking forget about it. And then I'm stuck on this road that I can't get off for like 3 or 4 miles doing 30 mile an hour. So that takes fucking ages. You do the maths, how long that takes. And then if you're not fucking got your wits about you, you forget there's a turn in left. And luckily I took it on the Friday night. And then you can like go round like a double roundabout and go back the other way. But there's nothing worse than fucking going in the wrong direction. And then as you're driving back the other way, where you've just driven 10 minutes before to try and catch up and get on the right route again, there is nothing worse than that. There is. Being fisted by Edward Scissorhands, I imagine, would be, it's an even parallel, I think. But, so I did that Friday night. That was fucking annoying. And then it's like... and then all the fucking roadworks come out. So you're like all the way home. It's down to 60 mile an hour. I have no idea why it was down to 60 mile an hour. It's just the overhead thing was saying 60. That's so they can generate money, people. We're having a rant this morning. That's so they can fucking generate money from people speeding on the new smart motorways. They put it down to 60 mile an hour for no fucking reason. So your journey becomes longer. A 3-hour journey becomes 3.5 hours. And then anyone who goes slightly over 60 miles an hour, they just fucking... the camera flashes. Jesus Christ. I have no idea why they put it down to 60 mile an hour for about 40 miles. You know, they're not doing any roadworks. There's nothing out. There's no fucking animals on the fucking motorway. You know, nobody's broken down. Nobody's, you know, rolled their fucking station wagon, as the Americans would say, or anything like that. It's just down to 60 mile an hour for a reason. They ought to give a fucking reason on there, isn't it? Underneath, they've got enough space on those overhead, like, fucking projector things that they put out, those screens they put out. They've got enough space to tell you to go down to 60 mile an hour. 60 mile an hour because we need to generate money from speeders. Okay, I can live with that. Just be honest with me. Just be fucking 60 miles an hour just to fuck you off because you want to get home and we want to delay you. So instead of getting home at like 1 o'clock in the morning, you're home at 2, which is exactly what happened to me both nights. Anyway, it was a nice weekend. Friday night was a little bit quiet there, but it was kind of fun. There was a couple... yeah. Apparently they kicked off later on. There was a couple of lesbians. Here we go. Get ready to be cancelled, people. There was a couple of lesbians in the audience on Friday night. That Dave Williams, the compere, did a fantastic job both Friday and Saturday night. Was chatting to earlier. I walk on stage and immediately just said, like, you know, hello, people of Hull, or whatever. I always say thank you, because they've applauded for me to basically just walk to the stage. There's nothing else I have done other than turn up. I don't think that particularly deserves applause. But, so I said thank you. It's nice to be in Hull or whatever. And one of these lesbians, I assume they were the, you know, there was a bit of confusion about which ones were the lesbians when I come off. But like, as I said at that time, you know, one of them piped up and went, "It's Hull. You don't pronounce the H. It's Hull, not Hull." Now, that may say, you know, you drop the H or something like that. And I was like, well, I'm not going to change my fucking accent for one gig, am I? Come to Hull and completely, you know, going round the country doing the various accents just to fit in with the audience. And then I said, short hair and boisterous. There was two shades. They both had those shaved short hair haircuts and were both boisterous. And I went, you two have got to be the lesbians. They were just every fucking stereotype apart from the fucking check shirts. Which, to be fair, they took quite well. They were actually laughing along with it. And why wouldn't they, eh? Why wouldn't they? Lesbians are people just like us, he says. Dear. But apparently they kicked off later on about, I think the headliner was saying something like about support work or care workers or something. And I only found this out on the Saturday. And he was saying something good about them, supporting them. And one of them kicked off at that because she was a care worker. It's a very strange thing. He was actually supporting them and saying that they did a good job, and she kicked off at him for that. But it's a weird thing sometimes. You can just see, like when I was on, you could see that they were in sort of like fun mode. You know what I mean? They'd had enough to drink where they were in fun mode. And obviously before the headliner come on, they'd just tipped over into cunting. And there's no going back from there, baby. We all know that, don't we? You can what you want to do with your alcohol is keep it at like fun level. You know, you don't want to have too much so you peak out of fun and go into cunty. And I think they'd gone into cunty by the time the headliner came on. And the last 5 minutes of his set, apparently, people were standing up, supporting him. It was like an I'm Spartacus moment. Oh, I'd have loved to have seen that. I should have fucking hung around, but I didn't. Let's have a little bit of water. There we are. We're on water today, people. Cleansing. Cleansing the system out. Not that it needs that much cleansing, although I haven't done anything this weekend. I was that fucked when I got back on Friday night. I had a lay-in Saturday. I set my alarm because it was about 2 o'clock, and I thought, I can have 5 hours sleep and then get up, do some shopping, go to the gym, go for a swim. And then the alarm went off at 7, and I immediately just went, fuck that. It wasn't even a guilt trip this week, not going for a swim. I was like, fuck that. You got back late. Come on. And then the worst thing is, if you're doing that, because I didn't stay over in Hull, because it's just, it's 3 hours home. I can drive home like that, get some jobs done on a Saturday, and then drive up again. But the worst thing about that is you've done the journey the night before. You've been in the car like 7 hours the day before, like 3.5 hours there, 3.5 hours back. And then when you get in the car on the Saturday night and you're like, I've got to do all that again. I've got to do that 3.5 hours in the car, get a decent fucking podcast to listen to. I'm sure you know them. Get a decent podcast to listen to. Get into an episode, put your fucking head down, stop at Trow Services or wherever it is for a piss. I like service stations. I don't like service stations where you just drive straight in to the parking lot. I know a lot are like that, but there's some where you can just detour off. Like, I don't want to have to get out of my car, walk all the way into the service station, take a fucking piss, and then walk all the way back to my car again. That's why I keep hand wipes and fucking hand sanitizer gel in the car. I like a service station that I can pull into. There's a little bit of leafage and greenery. There's dark areas there where I can just park my car up, switch the lights off, take a piss by the side of my car, get back in my car and go. I don't want to fucking walk, spend 10 minutes fucking walking for a toilet. I got shit to do, people. Yeah? My bladder doesn't seem to realise that, though. So the Saturday night, I drove up again on the Saturday night, and then you're doing the 30 miles an hour again, and I was like, boom! At the end of the night, I was like, remember not to go down that fucking bit, over the fucking bridge, and come back. So I managed to do that. The Saturday night was really, really lovely. They were really up for it, audience. Really good fun. There was a couple of groups in, but it was mainly couples and that. And I came off stage, and by the time I'd come off stage, there was 2 messages from audience members, which is really sweet, by the way. I'm not, hey, man, I'm not going to go into a thing where like, hey, man, I'm humbled. I'm humbled by this. I never really know. Let's write this. I never really go well with compliments, you know what I mean? I know it seems, I always feel fucking awkward and uncomfortable. And if someone messages me on Facebook, I always think I put the wrong thing there, haven't I? Or Facebook or Instagram, if somebody sends you a message on there, you're like, there was one lady who messaged me. She was there with a partner, I think. And she messaged me, thanks. We've just seen you senior set tonight and really thought it was fantastic. And I was like, thank you. Thanks. That's really nice. That's really nice of you to say it was a fun gig. That's what I usually do, right? Really nice of you to say it was a fun gig. That's it, and leave it there. And then, they'll just like my message or something like that. That's the standard. I have no way of expanding or extrapolating on that. I don't know what to say really in that situation apart from thanks. It was a really fun gig. And then somebody else messaged me like saying, "Oh, you're funny as fuck" or whatever, and that sort of thing. And I was like, "Ah, oh, thanks, that's really nice." And then halfway home, as I'm halfway home, I've stopped at the services. I've had to fucking walk into the services because it's like, there's no pissing trees around. I get a message like, I couldn't understand the message. So they've gone out to the comedy club. They've watched the comedy club. Then they've gone out and got absolutely fucking hammered. Fair play to her. And I had to say, afterwards, in my response, I have no fucking idea what you just said. But I'm assuming you're either drunk or half asleep. And then they said something about the gay. They were in the gay area of Hull, and it was shit. Apparently, Hull, you need to up your game in your gay quarter of Hull. And I was like, I didn't really know what to say. I was like, I get awkward then because I feel like I should respond because it seems rude just to blank somebody without responding or saying, "Oh, right, thanks a lot. Take care anyway." And I just went, I don't think I've ever been out in Hull. No, I said not up to your usual standards or something like that. I don't think I've ever been out in Hull. And I never know what to put. I ought to just have a standard message. Thanks for your input. Just to cover either one of those bases. If the gig's gone well or gone badly, there ought to be a universal message you can send out to people who message you saying, "Thank you for your input. I appreciate you messaging me. For complaints, please email me directly here. For more compliments, I ought to have an email address for that where it just goes into that folder when I have a horrendous gig and I can just read back and go, I was funny at one time. There we go. I don't know, man. Let's have a little bit more water. It's still fucking hot and sticky here as well. We've still had no summer. There's been no direct sunlight. For a while. Oh, fuck me. I think I just paused it for a moment there as I would wipe the screen on this thing. I didn't realise it did that. But you learn something new every fucking week. So anyway, that's going to be a fucking nightmare to cut together with the fucking video. Jesus, every fucking week there's something in there. Every fucking week you wipe the fucking screen. Because my fucking OCD fucking everything's got to be clean shit just kicked in. Isn't it? I wipe the screen because there's a bit of dust on there and you end up pausing the fucking podcast. And now I've got to knit this shit together. Somehow. I don't know. We'll do it somehow, won't we? We'll do it somehow. Anyway. Where was I? What was I talking about? Yeah. It's fucking still... It's sticky as fuck. It's just, there's just been no real summer this year. I don't know, everywhere else in Europe has been fucking lovely. It's just fucking sticky as anything. No direct sunlight. I think I've had the old drop top down like twice last week, but it was still fucking cloudy. But there you go. And also, at the minute, I am reading all of everybody's stuff. There's kind of like two kind of with regards to the Edinburgh Festival. Everybody's getting on great at the Edinburgh Festival. I've never really done it, to be perfectly honest. I've been up and done spots at the Edinburgh Festival. I think if you go up for about a week, you've got a load of new material. It's a great way of doing that. But it's so expensive to stay up there. I've heard horror stories about people coming back in debt and fucking having earned no money whatsoever while they're up there. And it's just it just seems a bit too much. But like a few of my mates are up there, people who I like, and they've got shows and they're doing quite well, I think. Audience reviews and that sort of thing are good, which is great. I haven't been up for like about 3 years, I think. It's just one of those, just one of those things. I think I'll take a show 1 year, definitely. But it's just, you pitch it up against like what you can earn whilst everybody else is in Edinburgh. So you get a lot of the cancellations down here and that sort of thing. So, you can use that to either get in with other clubs or do gigs that you haven't done before, hopefully anyway, who knows. That's the idea of it. But I was thinking back to, like, I've been up probably about 5 or 6 times over the years, I think. I had one of my most cringe-inducing moments at the Edinburgh Festival that I still, every now and again, it just fucking comes back to haunt me. I was staying in a hotel. I think I'd gone up there for a weekend. So I thought, here we go, Ben. We'll treat ourselves. So I'd flown up. It was about 45 quid for a flight, I think, something like that. So I'd flown from Birmingham to Edinburgh. It's a 45 minutes flight. If every single fucking flight in the world was that, it'd be a dream. An absolute fucking dream. So I've done that. Flown up there, got to this hotel. It's a fucking lovely hotel. Treated myself for the weekend. There's a few, like, famous faces in there and stuff like that. I know. Staying. Hey, Benny. Rubbing shoulders with the fucking celebrity, or whatever they call themselves. And I'm waiting. I'm at the lift. I'm waiting for the lift to fucking go up. Like, I'm on the first floor. There's a floor below, and I mean, like the lobby floor or whatever. And the restaurant's downstairs, I think. So there's a floor below. The lift, and then some woman comes and stands right next to me. I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before, but some woman comes and stands right next to me. And I'm waiting for the lift doors to open. The lift doors open, and the person in the lift, there's a celebrity in the UK, Gail Porter. She used to be a model or something. She had her ass projected on the Houses of Parliament, like for FHM magazine. She had a great ass. And she this was in the 90s, by the way. So I think she was a presenter or something, and then she did modelling for a bit. I don't know, but she had her ass projected on like the Houses of Parliament as an advert for sort of like FHM magazine or a publicity stunt or whatever. So she's in the lift. She says to the woman who's standing next to me, who I haven't really spoken to, or even acknowledged, really. She goes, "Oh my God, hi, how are you?" And they start fucking hugging and that sort of thing. And I follow this woman into the lift, even though I'd been waiting there first. That's it. You just stand in the background. You carry on through, sweetheart. Go on, go and hug your friend, even though there's a fucking queue for the fucking lift and you've just fucking pushed in front of me. That's fine. It's okay with your celebrity friends. So they're hugging and that. I walk in behind this woman, and then they stop hugging, and then Gail Porter says to her, "So who's this?" And then points to me, right? And I'm just like, oh shit, oh no, I just went. Oh, I'm nobody. It's okay. Like I'm just nobody. And then the most cringe-inducing thing, she sort of like got really sincere with me, and went, "Nobody's nobody, everybody's somebody," and as if like she just thought, I had no self-confidence or anything like that. And then the lift doors shut, and the 4 floors that I went up was the most uncomfortable situation I've ever been locked into in my life, because I'm just standing there I want to go, look, sweetheart, I'm not fucking suicidal. I'm not taking this to the top floor, going to get out and then jump off the roof. But obviously I didn't say any of that. I just went, oh, fuck. And just like stood there like a fucking lemon until the lift doors open and I could fucking get out and escape. And I was like, oh, God, that is painful. I think that was pre her. I can't remember if because she lost her hair, didn't she? She had alopecia or whatever. So I'm not sure whether that was before or after that, but I don't know. But anyway, she had a great ass at one point in her life. And what better way to end the podcast than that this week? I'm going to have to stitch this together somehow with the pause that I did. I'll have to fucking remember that shit. Jesus Christ. Why can't I just not fuck around with shit? I don't know. Why is that, Ben? Why is it? What is it within you, Ben, that makes you do this? Anyway, that is episode 304 of the Ben Briggs podcast. Holy fucking shit. I'll be back next Sunday with more bullshit and more fuck-ups for you to listen to. Have a fucking fantastic week. You go out there. You know, be somebody. Everybody's somebody, people. You remember that, yeah? Don't let anyone put you down. Don't even let yourself put you down, eh? You know, crack on through. Anyway, I'll be back next Sunday, motherfuckers. Have a good fucking week. I'll speak to you then. Take care.